Childhood obesity has more than tripled over the last 30 years. The prevalence of obesity among children ages 6 to 11 years old has increased from 6.5% in the 1980s to close to 20% in 2008. The prevalence of obesity in adolescents aged 12 to 19 increased from 5 to 18% in that same time frame, as reported by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Well, tonight I'm going to discuss how participation in sports for children is not only beneficial for overall health, but also in developing key life skills and academic skills. So kind of to start off with, I want to show you a short clip of kind of what students are doing, what children are doing with their time today. So yeah, I just showed you the short clip. It was South Park. It showed a little bit. Children are spending their time at computer games, video games. Really, they're losing track of that idea that physical activity is important to their growth and their development, not only with their health, but also in life skills. So some items I'm going to touch on are physical activity, how it's beneficial to that. It's probably the most obvious. Social skills and self-esteem development, and improved academic success. This chart is from the National Health Survey, which shows a little bit about the statistic I talked about, how it's a growing trend of obesity among children and adolescents in the United States. So really it all the way dates back to 1963, and it's a growing trend, and if parents don't make the necessary steps, this is going to be something that'll continue on throughout the future of our society. And like I mentioned, physical activity is the most obvious benefit of sports participation. Children often spend too much time with television, video games, computer games. They lose the opportunity to gain healthy lifestyles. The government is getting involved actually now with a new initiative which is called Health Youth for Healthy Futures. It's supported by our Surgeon General, Dr. Stephen Galston, and really it's focusing on getting communities throughout the United States aware of childhood obesity and creating new prevention programs that highlight the 60 minutes a day and how to receive the physical activity that's necessary for a healthy lifestyle. And sports participation is one of those key methods. Today, video game makers, including Nintendo and Microsoft, are saying that their video games offer some sort of physical activity, but it's often pointing out that it raises their heart rates and it increases their body temperature as opposed to just sitting passively. But in an article by the British Journal of Sports Medicine by Lee Graves and colleagues pointing that bowling, tennis, and boxing all burn roughly half as many calories as performing the same sports in real life. Furthermore, the authors reported that if the teenagers in this study were to replace sedentary video games with wheat, they would only have increased their weekly physical activity by 2%, which was kind of like a big statistic for me because most people kind of are moving towards those new games with kinetics and kind of getting involved, but really they're not really highlighting what needs to be done. And it's not really those game consoles. I have another short clip by Health Sciences, and it's a father's reaction of his child getting involved with sports at a young age and how it's helping her develop certain life skills.
He's seen firsthand how this benefits his daughter.
Her self-esteem is wonderful. Her self-confidence is wonderful also. It helps her socially and helps her with her friends.
And the benefits don't end there.
The child who is physically active has a much better chance of maintaining that physical activity throughout their lifetime, thus reducing their risk of coronary artery disease, osteoporosis, type 2 diabetes. So it's imperative that you get your child to become physically active.
So how can you...
So that short clip where the father was kind of going on, he joined a small park and recreation league with his daughter. He helps coach her. He's getting involved, and it's really, he's seen the progress and how important it is for children to be involved with the sports participation. really, if a sport or activity is well suited for your child, their interests and their aptitudes, it really helps with psychological gains and enhances their quality of life while building their network of life friends. So getting involved with the sport, you're with individuals that have similar interests and kind of help broaden your horizons, so you develop more interpersonal skills, you get to interact with them a little bit more, and it helps kind of develop life skills that'll help you further in life. Also, it helps with a healthy body image and kind of a healthy body itself. With these activities, you're able to focus more so on your confidence and self-esteem, which you wouldn't receive through just participation in video game play and other activities of that sort. And then the final thing I kind of want to touch on in terms of life skills is developing communication skills with individuals that are not really seen until early adulthood. Children are able to notice to delay gratification, so it's kind of one of those things where it's to control their impulses. They get to learn the rules of games and fair play and how important that is in society today. And they also get to understand the coping with winning and losing, because that's really not what it's all about for children. It's about developing skills and just having them participate in something where they can take these skills on in future endeavors. So if you're a parent, I need you to consider emphasizing personal growth aspects of sports instead of the winning and losing aspect. Sports participation can be in a constructive way for your student, for your child to learn a little bit more about teamwork and kind of emphasizing that, especially with societies kind of moving towards teamwork and working with teams. The last point I'd like to discuss is regarding sports participation and its positive effect on academic success. So a trio of studies presented at the 2001 Society of Neuroscience Conference suggests that regular exercise helps improve cognitive function, and substances in your brain help create healthy neurons. So brain function indirectly benefits from physical activity due to increased energy generation, as well as helping provide, eliminate the boredom that's often found with just sitting in the classroom or playing a passive video game. And I want to kind of move away from the inner workings of the brain and talk about more skills that kind of translate over to academic success. And the first one is time management. I know it's been like a big buzzword for everyone in college and growing up. And I think it's a key step for young people to understand this concept as they prepare for life and the real world. They kind of learn about the balance of proper rest. Actually, they get the balance between time of athletic activities, community involvement, school demands, social interests. And they get to recognize that value of a planned time, a schedule, and how important it is to kind of develop that. And so you're not kind of getting caught up in life in general. Also that works with this is prioritizing. A busy young person occupied in creative and healthy activities will need more decisions about time management, what's more important to them. They got to prioritize. So if you have an upcoming test, you're not going to play a video game. You're going to understand that, hey, I need to sit down, I'll take these tests. And students that participate in sports understand this prioritization and how important it is to their success. As students get more involved, they're energized to future commitment. So the time management I just spoke about. And they get to learn more about the success measures. It's not all about winning. It's more about being involved in an activity, working hard, training to a goal, being disciplined, so showing discipline to that activity, and leadership skills. So with sports participation, it's really not about winning or losing. It's more about developing these necessary skills and kind of working towards an end goal, which is the main benefit through this activity. And then as athletes, they need to make instantaneous, quick decisions on the field. Chris probably has first-hand example as a quarterback. He has a lot of information coming at him with different formation. He has to process that information and really get involved with critical thinking. So this is something that happens with all sports activities, and this is definitely something that translates over to the business world, into life, into relationships, having that critical thinking and being able to develop that quickly and kind of make decisions on the go. A prime example of academic success that actually occurred just this past year with our Rider athletic community. The Rider athletes on campus for all varsity sports were able to achieve a 3.08 grade point average, which was the highest mark ever achieved by student athletes, and it actually surpassed the non-student athlete population by 3.1 VID00004 percentage. 57 of the student athletes owned a 3.0 or better, and 12 out of the 20 varsity teams were at 3.0. So this is kind of something that happened, and it showed that success with these athletes. They were able to manage their time more effectively. They were able to prioritize and kind of take their success on the field and kind of translate it into an academic environment. So as you can see, I touched on sports participation and how vital it is in a child's development and keeping physical and life skills. I encourage you to try to take several steps to get your child involved. They include just asking them about their interests, learning to what kind of sports they want to get involved with. Attend a local game with them, kind of see how it works. Search your area for sports offerings, so kind of to see what's out there for recreational, and just participate in sport. As a future parent, you really want to get involved. You want to have your child focused on this activity, and I think with these necessary steps, children will start participating in sports, get off computers, and they won't become one of 4 U.S. adults considered to be obese by the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Thank you.